Hello my friends, welcome to a new video. Today a review of the RacGTing, yes, that is how you pronounce it, Striver 809.
The 809 falls a bit in a niche segment. Apart from the Playseat Formula, there are not that many rigs out there in the tubular F1 segment with a single beam to support the wheelbase holder. Other similar solutions include the Next Level Racing FGT and Playseat's newest Formula Instinct. The biggest difference between the latter two and the first is that they are built with dual beam support for the wheelbase holder. If there is something you can't miss from the moment you see the 809, it is the design aspect. This is unmistakably a Formula 1 cockpit.
The design of a Formula 1 rig is of course a bit more special than you have with a normal GT car. Here, for the 809, you have the nice curves, which you can see here. You have the little wings on the front, just like a Formula 1 car, and it is very narrow. To top it off, you have the black and red color scheme of RacGTing and also the nice painted red stripes that you have here. This is something that I criticize Playseat a lot for, that they use stickers. Well, here, RacGTing, they did it okay, they used paint for it. However, I need to mention that, at the front, for example, there was a bit of paint missing. Now, this doesn't disturb me that much. You have to always place it into context. Already the fact that they put paint on a 400 euro rig is something which is fantastic if you look at it with the competition and compare it. The pole in the middle is a part of the design of this chair, and well, I never liked the pole in the middle. Those of you that watched videos of me already with this type of configuration know that, but I have to say that RacGTing did well for this mechanism. It is secured really well, and the second thing that bothers me most on this system is that you have difficulties with the pedals, especially if you have 3 pedal bases. To get to the brake pedal, you always rub against this part of the pole, which is not fun. But this is an F1 rig, so you only have 2 pedals here, and this is a lot more manageable. So it doesn't bother me as much as it does with other rigs, this pole in the middle. The fact that they also secured it very well over these two metal rods, it's really a decent design. One of the most decent design with a pole in the middle that I have seen so far. The pedal base, on the other hand, well, it uses also a floating pedal plate, which means that you have quite a lot of support until the middle of the pedal blade, but further there is not much support. This means that when you brake hard with your load cell pedals, that you will have some flex during this. This flex is unfortunately much more noticeable than there is flex on the steering wheel.
The problem with flexing of this magnitude is that the consistency of braking is impacted. Now, this is not necessarily that dramatic, because after getting used to this phenomenon, you will simply adapt your muscle memory to include that flexing. While the average driver will not have an issue with it, the person that just bought his 1000 euro worth of pedals will most certainly find this disturbing. I did have noticeable less issues with the wheelbase holder. There is certainly still flex forwards and to the sides, but it was far less than what I had in previous reviews of similar systems that handled less powerful wheelbases. Despite my preconceptions that the 2-bolt attachment to the rest of the frame was not sufficient, it held very well under the force feedback strain.
Getting in and out of the seat is pretty easy. I mean, I'm not that young anymore, but I can slide easily in. This is because the back of the seat is really sturdy. I had the problem with the Uplight Nitro card, for example, that it was not as sturdy as this one. But here you can just put yourself on the back and just lower yourself in. They also made sure to make the seating area with enough springs under it, so that your bottom has enough support. The same goes for the back, there is plenty of support going there. The only thing that I would say is that the bolstering is a bit narrow for my broad shoulders. But in all, I do find it sits well, it is comfortable, and you can easily take a nap in it.
There is quite a lot to change for the configuration of this seat. To start off, we have the wheelbase holder, which is attached to a tray. This tray can incline. There is also the bar here to put it a bit further or closer, and there is also the entire structure here rests on two bars, and you can like slide it away or closer also. For the pedals, it is the same mechanism. It can be slid further and closer on the same bars of the frame, and it can also be inclined to 60 degrees or something, which is way enough for the pedals to be inclined. The last thing that you can change is for the display. You can put it higher or lower. There is no you cannot change the distance from the display from your face. This, I think perhaps this could have been changed a bit more, but for my from my point of view, with the monitor that I have, it is way sufficient. The only thing that you cannot change is the seat itself. Especially the configuration was troublesome with the Playseat Formula. I remember that I really had issues finding a good position. On the 809, on the other hand, I found a very suitable position for both low and high wheelbases. When it comes to compatibility, the Striver is compatible with all major brands like Logitech, Trustmaster, Fanatec, SimMagic, Moza and Camus for wheelbase and pedals. Although I would recommend contacting the company for newer wheelbases like the Trustmaster T598, for example, as they tend to change the bolt layout from time to time.
So like with all the RacGTing rigs that I have tested so far, this one is also a very complete rig. So when we look at the features of it, you have the little carpet which you can put underneath, which is great for not damaging your floor. There is the display holder which comes standard with it. There are the bolts to attach your wheelbase and your pedals to it. There is the shifter holder which is included. I mean, it is really a very full package. When you buy this, you know that you don't need to go to a store to buy something else. Everything is really in this package. Now I think this will be the first time that I say this, but I think that the package is even too complete, because the shifter holder, in my opinion, for a Formula 1 rig, it is a bit overkill. Of course, you can use this shifter holder to put your button box on, because you need a lot of buttons also for Formula 1, so it can be handy for that. But yeah, it is just an over complete package that you get. When we look at the ecosystem, well, if you see what you already get standard for this rig, you don't really need a big ecosystem. Something which I could always appreciate is a cup holder to put my beverage in, but for the rest, I think there is not an ecosystem for it, but you also don't need anything else when you buy this package. So yeah, it's a moot point actually. So because there is not that much competition out there for these types of rig, I know there is the Playseat Formula, which goes for around 900 euro, and then the price of this one comes in at 400 euro, about, because it fluctuates a bit. There's now the special promotion going on that it is even cheaper, and of course with the content creator codes you can bring down the price also a lot. So 400 euro you need to count for this complete package, and I think if I compare it to the competition, this is really a very good price. So a conclusion, well, I didn't test that many F1 rigs before, partly because there are not that many out there, but also partly because it's not really my style of rig, so I don't go actively looking for them on second-hand sites. But what I have seen from this rig is that it is constructed really well. When I look at the build quality, it matches the one of the Playseat Formula. It is even better looking at the stability of the middle bar, but also the paint that they use, for example, instead of stickers. These are all positive points in my book, and if you count with this the price that they ask for it, which is less than half of the price that you would buy for the Playseat Formula, well, I think the choice is easily made.
Of course, it's not only that. There is the comfortable chair, there is the display stand, which would at least cost you another 100 euro extra at another manufacturer. There are the red cable binders and the little carpet. All great features that separates it from the rest of the pack. There is even the shifter holder included, just if you would decide to drive a classic Formula car. And what do you have to compromise on? Well, the flexing pedal plate and the annoyance if you decide to drive with 3 pedals are one thing. Another thing would be that it looks just a bit less refined as its direct competition, the Playseat Formula. A last thing to consider is that RacGTing is a young company and it doesn't have the structure like the larger brands out there yet. That being said, I think the 809 Striver is a good addition to this segment, and of the tubular F1 dedicated cockpits I reviewed, certainly the best bang for buck at the moment.
Thank you all for watching. I hope you had something from this video. Please leave a like if you did. As always, subscribe if you want to see more videos. Don't forget the voucher code that you can use for RacGTing if you want to buy this rig new. And I will see you all next video. Bye bye.